Hey, welcome to Pat's Soundbites IGTV. Keeping new music alive is what I do on the radio and now on video. Conducting live chats with the artists and learning the stories behind their latest release and also playing their new video. Special thanks to my good friend Jody Best of Best Bet Promotions for coordinating and scheduling today's artists. Having over 20 plus years in the music industry, if you're looking for a highly successful promotion and marketing professional who's extremely motivated, look no further than Jody Best. For more information, contact Jody via email at bestbetpromo@yahoo.com. Special thanks today to my sponsor, Go-Go Tuners, for all guitar players looking for a focus on ease of use, readability, durability, and accuracy. Look no further. The Go-Go Tuner is the choice of many touring professionals and a favorite of casual players. Go-Go's signature green you're in and red you're out screen makes tuning quick and easy. For more information, go to the website at gogotuners.com. Special thanks to WBXO Classic Rock Radio Redefined, allowing me to keep new music alive on the radio airways on the Pat Show every Sunday from 5 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. Only on WBXO Classic Rock Redefined. And a big thank you to Mr. Evan Balzer for allowing me to use his amazing instrumental that you're hearing right now. It's called Trails. To find out more incredible music by Evan, go to his website at evanbalzer.com. And today's guest, well, he's a returning guest. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, and he's a rocker. Guitarist for the Babies, Mr. Joey Sykes. Our friend Joey and his all-star lineup of musician friends perform one of George Harrison's classics, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and does a great video. And it's all to help raise money for music education in public schools, and he's partnering with the non-for-profits Little Kids Rock and Save the Music. We're going to talk to Joey about the project, we're going to play the video, and a whole lot more right here on Pat's Soundbites IGTV. Hey, live on Pat's Soundbites IGTV, keeping new music alive on the radio and the video. I got a cool guy, a returning guest. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, he's a great guitarist. He's in the Babies, he's doing things to make it great for people. I don't know what else to say. My man from New York, in California now, my man Joey Sykes is in the house. How are you, brother?
What's up, brother? How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. You kicked ass with Let's Get Through This, and then to see your new project, I'm like, this guy's got a heart of gold. So I support anybody that wants to do the right thing. And I am telling all my listeners, all the 300 people and all the listeners out there, to do me a favor and support this guy. Go to his YouTube, go to his Facebook, and go to Instagram. And I'm going to have Joey talk about this great music education fundraiser project that I got wind about that I want to support and play. And we're going to play the video after our chat. And I asked everybody to share it. And I'll let Joey kind of take it from there. Boy, you're a busy guy. I know you were doing videos. The last time we talked, you go, I'm going to start doing my own videos and wish me luck. And you kicked the deal. You did. You kicked the Neil Young, Harvest Moon, and there was a few others. You were adjusting the lights, and you said, "Hey, excuse my language, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the right thing here and get out there." And you have. And I know you were doing the little shows in your area, maybe a little acoustic, trying to get the word out and keeping busy and doing what you can do. But music education fundraiser, brother. Speak to me about that. What can we do to help you and promote this?
Well, thanks for all the nice words, Pat, and the support. And you gave me quite the introduction. I hope I can live up to it.
Oh, you got it, bro. You got it.
In like March, April, when obviously everything just got shut down, and I knew no one was going to be touring this year. And I work with and know so many famous and talented people that I think we're pretty much just shut down. So I wanted to do something with the time. You know, I didn't want to just kind of. I'm always writing songs and stuff. So, but I want to do something a little special. So I came up with this idea to do an instrumental, mainly guitar version of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and try to find a charity. And reached out to Steve Ferroni, and he agreed to play drums on it. Then Greg Bissonette, and the two you know, that was by design. Other than they're two of my favorite drummers, but you know, Steve Ferroni played with Tom Petty. Obviously, he was in the Heartbreakers, and he was the drummer on that Hall of Fame "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" performance with Prince and
Cool.
and Petty. So he was the drummer on that. And then Greg Bissonette is Ringo Starr.
Starr, yeah, Greg.
So it was like that Beatle connection. So I had them on drums, which thank God they said yes, and they killed it, both of them. And then from there on, it was just, you know, I had a really long wish list, and a lot of the guitar players were friends of mine and people I work with. Then I started thinking even, you know, really crazy stuff, and was actually emailing with some really famous guitar players. You know, some of them I almost had, some of them I did get. So there it is. And then the charities are, you know, music education for kids is pretty special for me because of how young I started. I was like 7 years old and I started playing guitar, and it ended up being my whole life. So if that scenario could live with some other kids here and there, I think that's a thing that speaks to me, you know. And so Little Kids Rock they raise money for music education and Save the Music. So those are the two charities, and it's been going on pretty much for the whole summer, and we just launched it last week. So it's out there now.
It's great. You got an all-star lineup. I'm going to put the link on our video at the end. So when we share it, everybody will get to see the link and the two charities. And it's you know what? I was thinking it's such a perfect song because it really gives a chance to showcase all your all-star lineup of all the guys out there that were playing on it, that you see, you know, the Lance Lopez's, the Mitch Perry's out there, and you see everybody just rocking. And it's just a really good song for that you can just go and go and go and go.
Yeah, and you know, the idea with the instrumentation was I didn't want just to have guitar players playing like, you know, standardy kind of stuff. I wanted some diversity. So there's this really famous Hawaiian ukulele player.
I saw that.
And he has a version of Guitar Gently Weeps that has about 15 million views on YouTube. So
wow.
I got him on it, and so he was great. Then I had some other people that were playing like pedal steel and lap steel, cello. There's cello on it.
I saw that.
Roger Manning from Jellyfish and Beck, he's playing some organ on it. So that was really special for me. And then the other two non-guitar players were bass players were Jeff Pilson, who's
Foreigner, yeah.
And then Jack Daly was Lenny Kravitz's main bass player in the heyday, and now he's with Little Steven. So it's, you know, I could not be happier with the way it came out and the lineup. And you know, for your listeners who go to it and hear it, just please, hopefully you like it, and then share the hell out of it with people who you think, you know, would be into it, you know, and trying to get it to go viral. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, you got the one guy, 15 million subscribers on his YouTube. I mean, it really needs to go out. We don't do enough. I mean, anybody that donates and wants to help kids and get music involved, I'm 110% into it. Just like your video. Let's get through this. You know, I'm a past fire chief, as I said to you. Let me see what I can do from my end. And it really sucked because people were so interested, but because of the virus, you know, oh, I can't get people together. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm like, oh man, it was like kind of depressing. It's like, what a great song, and try to lift people's spirits. Like, let's go, let's do it. That when you had that hospital in Long Island do it, I'm like, well, that's perfect. I mean, that's all I ask of some of my friends is even if you just got 4 people to hold a sign or something, but I don't know what you got to do to motivate people anymore. I know times are tough and it's crazy, but drives me insane. I like you named the principals. which kind of makes sense. You know, it's a school project. Let's name these guys
Exactly.
the principals. And I thought that was,
I don't know who got it, but you know, like I wanted to
I
start
got it.
like school principal, but we're all doing it for good principles too, you know. So you know, whatever. I'm always thinking of those little clever things that maybe some people will catch, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, no, well, it's got 2,400, I guess, views, and it's only been a week. And we want to get that up to 1 million. And if everybody just donated $1, my goodness, you know what they could do for school education and kids. I mean, Joey, you mentioned before you started so young. And could you imagine if you had YouTube and all these things that you go and say, how did Hendrix do that? And how did this do this? And I mean, what's out there available is insane if you really want to learn how to play guitar and
Yeah.
piano or whatever.
Well,
Compared to what we had growing up, I should say.
yeah, both of these organizations do really great things with not only providing instruments for schools, but also on now so many people are online. That's totally factored into their kind of, you know, the curriculum, so to say. So both of the companies are great. That's why I, you know, kind of merged two companies instead of just picking one. They kind of are after the same thing. And you know, it's something that it would be a really nice thing for kids to have an outlet that's positive, that can potentially be their life. Like, I mean, me and probably the majority of the people who are on this video, there's 30 people that are really famous and very accomplished, and I'm sure they feel the same way. They started out young and it kicked in, and you know, and now it's all of their lives, and that's pretty powerful if you think about it.
Absolutely. How did it start for you, Joey? I probably asked you the last time we chatted, but you said you started at a young age. Was it somebody in your family, mom, dad, cousins, or the Beatles on TV? What made you say, "Hey, I like this. I want to get involved with this"?
Well, it's a big irony in my life. You know, my father probably at age 7, because all I did was play sports with my friends in my neighborhood. You know, we would play in the street and everything in Long Island. But my father probably initially just wanted to kill time, you know, give the kids something to do. So you know, he started me and my brother on musical, you know, music lessons, you know, and it just, you know, for me, it didn't take off at that age. It took years, but by the time I was like 10 or 11, 3 or 4 years into it, it really started to kick in, and I was able to play songs and stuff like that. Then I just, you know, by my early teens, that was it, man. I was sold, and then I was playing the bar scene in Long Island when I was like 15. You know, I was playing bars, and I had a curfew at the same time. Like, it was pretty funny stuff. And then so that's how it happened. So my father started me, and now he wants to wring my neck for taking it this far.
Did you play in school? Any of the school bands, or you?
Yeah, I
Did you?
did everything, man. I really did everything. I played in school bands, plays, talent shows, uh, just all different things you do. You know, it just really, I was really passionate enough to make it my life, and then that was it.
You would have to agree, right? The tenacity and the drive to want to do it and to stay focused and to keep on doing it. How many doors have we all have got slammed in our face and we go, yeah, whatever, I'm still doing it and I'm still doing it and nobody's going to stop me. And I think you have to have that attitude anymore. Even if
I
you
mean,
fall down, who cares? I get back up and I do what I need to do.
yeah, and now more than ever, because you know, you take the money equation out of it for the most part. I mean, it's really hard to earn. You know, for me, being a songwriter, I was able to, you know, and still continue to make money with my songs. You know, I just recently got 4 songs on Roswell, that show Roswell.
Nice.
So you know, you know, you have moments. It's all about moments. You know, so aside from live gigging, obviously the touring aspect of it is gone right now. Hopefully it comes back, you know, but through songwriting, you know, you kind of have your little moments, as you know, especially for me. So songwriting was a big part of my life early on as well, you know. And you mentioned Lance Lopez. I'm working with him on his new material, so you know, recorded like 4 songs for his new album when it comes out. And
Great to see him back on his feet. He's a good
he's
guy.
amazing.
He's a great
Yeah,
He's a great rocker. Always
yeah.
supported Lance. Good for him.
And do you know? Yeah, you remember that band Angel
Yeah,
back
of
in the?
course. Yeah.
So I'm working with the singer Frank Domino for his he's doing Angel now, but he's gonna eventually have another solo album and stuff. So working with him, and then the singer in the Babies, John Basaha, working with him, and Babies are putting some stuff out. So and then my own stuff. So it's just like crazy how I'm like so busy right now, which is
But
insane.
that's a good thing. And then you got Honey River, right? You got your
Yeah,
Eagles version of Honey River. I remember
yep.
we chatted about, which is cool. Still love your Go All the Way by the Raspberries. You
Yeah.
killed it with that, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to my YouTube, like I consider now my YouTube page is going to be like my record label, so, of course they're going to be on Spotify and all that stuff. You follow me on Spotify, but I think my YouTube page is where I'm going to, whenever I have a new release, I'm going to make some sort of video or a lyric video and hopefully drive traffic. Because then I have so many videos with guitar tutorials and stuff like that, guitar solo series I have. So if a fan or a music fan or whatever goes there, you can have a field day, so.
No, dude, it's all about, I don't know what it is, but the lyric videos are starting to be the trend. And we live in such a visual world that everybody wants to see. I mean, I never thought I'd be doing Zoom. I mean, I got a t-shirt and no pants. No, I got pants on, but it's funny that I got a t-shirt on. I'm doing this Zoom thing. It was always by phone. You go to a gig, meet the guys after the show, before the show. And now this whole Zoom thing, I'm like, okay, whatever it happens.
Yeah, but the cool thing is if you're a fan of somebody and you get to see them on Zoom a lot talking and revealing a personality and more information, it's better than like a magazine. You have a
no doubt.
right. You stare at that for like 10 hours.
No, I want to offer to my viewers and listeners a once in a lifetime. I'm going to put their names in a hat and say, I got Joey Sykes, I got Lance Lopez, I got Mitch Perry coming up this week. I'm going to pull a name out, and if you want me to ask a question or you want me to insert your video that you want to ask Joey the question, knock your socks off. I'm living my dream. I want them to live their dream, as long as they share it and share your stuff. And that's the hard part of getting everybody involved. But I think it's a great idea. So I think you're right with the whole YouTube thing. Who would ever thought? But no, all good. How did you get your first break, Joey? You said you were playing in 15. You're playing in the bars in Long Island. Somebody goes, okay, I want that guy. Let's get in this band and let's take off.
When you start that young and you're on a good path and you don't drop the ball and you're always meeting new people, especially gigging and playing. I mean, I was always in popular bands. It started out with cover bands, and then I started writing songs pretty seriously at a really early age, 18 years old, so by the time you do that, and growing up in Long Island, you have the access to the Manhattan, where all the record labels are going out and they come see you, and one thing will lead to another. And I would say my first biggest break was in 1996. It was a band called Coward, and we were managed by the manager of Hall & Oates. Remember we spoke about?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so Brian Doyle was our manager, and he managed Hall & Oates and James Taylor and all these crazy people.
Wow.
So that was our kind of big break. And, we had a little bidding war going on at that time. There was like 3 major labels that wanted us, and we ended up with Elektra Records, and that was my first big break. So that was 96.
Did he put you on tour? Were you able to open for like James Taylor or Hall & Oates or anybody to get?
We played with Hall & Oates. Yep, we played with Hall & Oates. We the label, when we signed, it was right when they signed that band Third Eye Blind. So we came out at the same exact time, and they just kicked our ass at radio. So they kind of like, it was in the beginning, it was an even race. I think we even might have signed for more money than them. We were like the golden band on Elektra at that time. They thought we were going to be huge. Then Third Eye Blind came out and just like, whoosh, they just skyrocketed like overnight
But
when
that
that
one, but that, and certainly no disrespect to your band, but that whole grunge thing, I want to say alternative and grunge came, and like I want to say the late '90s, and I mean I talked to like Damon Johnson. I was a big fan of like Brother Kane, and I go, what happened? You guys were rocking, and he goes, Pat, we weren't grunge, we weren't a hair band, there was nowhere to fit us. And these other bands were taking off, and we're like lost in a shuffle. He goes, look, it was a great 7 or 8 years of my life. I love Brother Kane. We had great music, but we were like, what happened? Just everything started taking off. Hip hop, disco, and he goes, we didn't fit into any real genre. And I'm like, wow.
Well, we were, Coward was ahead of our time actually. In '96. We were kind of like it was like Cheap Trick meets the Cars, and it was really kind of quirky, really great, power pop, but indie. I would say. And then like 2 years after us was all the bands that sounded really similar, like Lit, and those bands came after us and blew up. So it was just, if you listen to both bands, you'll hear so many similarities. But we were 2 years before that. We had Jerry Finn produced the record, and he was just coming off of Green Day and Blink-182 and Rancid. So it was like, we had the whole machine was really perfectly put together, except for Third Eye Blind just killed us at radio.
Damn.
No, we toured with them a lot, but other than that, then the band after one record, we just kind of like got so disheartened, we just broke up, and then I went to California and played with Tommy Hendrickson, who's in Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I played guitar for him, and then Meredith Brooks, kind of like really close to each other. That's what I was doing in the late '90s, early 2000s.
And now in the Babies, and you said the Babies are working on a new album. Are you involved with the songwriting with those guys?
Yeah. I mean, that was my main, when they kind of brought me into that was my main, role, let's say, because the original guitar player is Wally Stocker, and he's in it still. So he's the guy. He's the famous, every single Baby song ever had Wally Stocker on guitar and Tony Brock on drums, and those are the two guys that are in the new version, the original guys. So for any Babies fans, every single song that they've ever recorded has those two guys on it. So like the Babies' DNA is in those two guys,
Oh, you still got the meat and the potatoes. You still got the core together of those guys. That's cool.
Exactly.
People are always asking me, Joey, I don't ask enough gear questions. What's your go-to guitar? I'm watching the video a couple of times, and it looks like a Les Paul, you got a Fender, you got something going on. What's your go-to guitar? And
when you dig a little deeper with guitars and amps, I mean, for me, they're all, I have so many of them, and I know when I'm recording a specific song, I already know in my head which sound I want, because guitars do different things. A Les Paul will do something different than a Strat will do, and a Telecaster's pretty, does a little bit of everything. So, and then I got an old 1966 Gretsch that is really special. That's like on pretty much every one of my recordings ever, even if I play like 2 notes on it, like it's just a really special guitar. So, when you go into a song, whatever it's going to be, I know anyway what I want to do. And then you dial in a certain amps do the same thing. There are certain amps that, a Marshall is going to do something different than an old Fender Deluxe, let's say. So it gets a little complicated. So I wouldn't even be able to, give you one answer, because there's specialty in so many different guitars and amps.
No, your answer is great, because it outlines exactly, when somebody goes into a studio and they have, 15 different guitars, you could go, okay, this is the sound, that's the sound. So yeah, no, your guitar so well that exactly, you're not wasting time. You're going, okay, I'm using the Les Paul, and I know what I'm going to get out of it. So do you use
even if you're a fan of like old classic rock, like if you're a fan of Guns N' Roses, that the bulk of that guitar is Slash, and Slash only uses a Les Paul. So like I don't know if you're not a player, if you could hear that, but that's like a Les Paul sound, you know. Then if you are a Jimi Hendrix fan, you'll know that that's a Strat, you know. I mean, it's a pissed off Strat. It's not like, 'cause
Cranked at number 20.
yeah, Strats are traditionally like clean and jangly, but you know, someone like Hendrix, you know, with pedals and just a certain attack that he has in his playing, it'll come out like that. But it's, you know, it's interesting that guitars do different things.
Who did you follow? Who did you like really watch? I mean, we just lost the great Eddie Van Halen,
Oh
which
yeah.
is like, oh my goodness. But who did? I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's got to be. I just interviewed actually Mitch Perry the other day, and Mitch said there isn't one guitarist that isn't exempt from taking something or learning something from Eddie.
Oh
Who did
yeah.
you?
I mean, for me, there's different guitar players that do different things. That I, you know, like probably my favorite, just because it speaks to me, is Gilmour. You know, Pink Floyd. You know, just because I can listen to some of his solos and just get goosebumps every single time.
Wow.
And just, you know, I could listen to Shine On You Crazy Diamond or something and just go like, you know, and it ain't even that he's going crazy. It's just the choice of notes, his style, his I don't know. So that's, you know, but then someone like Lindsey Buckingham is a special guitar player. So he'll wow me, you know. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like there's so many different ones that do different things. Eddie Van Halen for the speed thing, obviously, like it doesn't get better than that. You know, matter of fact, when I first was hip to Van Halen, I was already a good guitar player, but I thought, and this is a true story, I remember thinking so early on, I'm like, well, I'll never be able to do what he does, you know, so I'm not going to lock myself in my room for 10 hours. I'm not going to do that. And I'm never going to be as good as him. So for that style, that's Eddie Van Halen is the reason that I don't really play fast like that. I mean, if you said play a Van Halen song, learn it, I'll get close to it. Nowhere near like that. But that's why I was like, I'm that's the pinnacle. That's the gold standard. I'll never be able to do that unless I just make it like a career mission to go. Blah, 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 blah. And I just didn't want to do it. He's too great. He's too special, and he is probably the reason why I don't play really fast.
I think of what he could be doing with Randy Rhoads and Jimi Hendrix these days are going. And I'll never forget, I want to say, I keep all my ticket stubs. I saw Van Halen 1980, New Haven Coliseum, going, who is this guy? I mean, the first time I heard Eruption, I go, what is that? And I said, wow, man, it was like, that was killer. It was like insane. How would you describe your, I always ask guitar players, I mean, I'm fortunate to hang out with Billy Gibbons and Eric Johnson and Joe Satriani. How would you explain your tone, Joey? Does it all depend on which guitar you grab or what mood you're in, or how? Yeah. I mean, like you said, you know Jimi Hendrix's sound, you know David Gilmour's sound. How would you describe your tone?
You know, it's per song. You know, I do so many different things. You know, but just generalizing it, I don't like it too buzzy. Like I don't really like
a lot of distortion,
too saturated, and a lot of distortion where just the sound of the guitar just goes out the window. You know, of course, this, you know, I don't want to say too much against people because there's something.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
But I don't like it too buzzy and fuzzy and just like where the tone is gone. So I would like it more when you can kind of really hear the notes, like when you hear that string picking against and the attack and stuff like that, and really nice vibrato and I would say, but you know, so that being said, I like more of a warm kind of tone, vintage warm tone. But then there's some songs where you want that little sparkly on that jangly thing. If I'm doing like a thing where I want like a Beatlesy kind of like a Harrison thing, then you'll look for that jangly thing that's in like a Gretsch or a Strat. So it's really hard, you know.
No, it's cool. It's cool that you mentioned. I mean, I remember seeing Fleetwood Mac, probably 10th row in front of Lindsey. Right, you're looking at Lindsey Buckingham, a guy I don't think gets enough recognition for his guitar playing. I remember when I went to see the Police, and I was so focused on, everybody's focused on Sting, and I started watching Andy Sumner, and I go, what? And here's another guy who plays his ass off, and nobody even talks about his guitar playing. And I'm like, that guy's got his act together. But no, it's all cool. Every time I go to a flea market with my wife, since I met you, I'm always looking for transistor radios just to go, Joey, I got one. I'm going to send it to you. Is that the latest?
I just have them laying around my studio. I'm in my studio.
I've always asked, my wife's like, why do you always ask about these trends? I said, I know one guy. I said, well, I'm looking for him. Well, he's out in California. He's a New York guy. I got to spread the love for Joey. I said, I'm always looking. I'll buy it for you and send it to you. No,
yeah,
it's cool.
So cool. The colors and the designs on those old radios, and they're so cool.
You're working on a million projects. Is there any other project that I can help promote for you, my man?
Well, it's in the works, but for some reason I'm like, turning into the philanthropic. What's that word when you want to do good and
philosophical guy?
Philanthropy.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So anyway, I did the COVID song, the Let's Get Through This. Trying to do something good with that. Now with the music education, so the next thing that's in the works is I wrote this song for the homeless, and I'm partnering up with a really great foundation in LA, Get Together Foundation, and some really good filmmakers. And the video is going to be really, really emotional and impactful, and it's going to try to raise money for homeless shelters and food banks, and I don't know what, but it's going to be a really special project, and it's an original song, and I'm probably going to have, I don't want to say who it is, but a pretty famous singer on it. So when that's all together and ready to go, that's another thing.
Dude, we are blessed to have you. You got a heart of gold, and I applaud you and I support you 110%. I'm going to put the link on for to donate. I'm going to tell everybody again to go to Joey's YouTube, Facebook, share the video, please. I mean, the guy's got a heart of gold, and go check him out. He's got some great stuff. He has that album, Classic. What was it? Classic New Rock, right?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I remember that Classic New Rock. I love the Raspberries Go All the Way. I mean, you got a lot of things going on. And if you find a transistor radio, call Pat so I can get it to Joey, please.
Yeah. And yeah, if anyone goes to my YouTube, please subscribe. I'm really, like I said, I mean, there's so much on there. There's so much I'm doing. And I really, would love to just have thousands of subscribers so that when I post something, they're right there and enjoying it. And like you said, donate to this cause if you have a buck or $5 or $10, and it's a really good cause. And that's it, man.
All right, man. Well, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I love you. I'm supporting you. And now it's time to play the video of the principals in Joey Sykes and Why My Guitar Gently Weeps, right here on Pat's Soundbites IGTV. Freaking donate and subscribe, please.
Thank you, brother.
Excellent, my man.